Hey, what's up everyone? Jonathan Thames of Rosie and Ernie Productions here, giving you my thoughts today on the new Netflix movie, The Woman in the Window, starring Amy Adams and featuring performances by Julianne Moore, Gary Oldman, Anthony Mackie, Brian Tyree Henry, and Wyatt Russell. I was actually extremely impressed with this movie for the most part. The movie serves really well as an homage to Alfred Hitchcock's classic 1954 film Rear Window, and centers around a woman named Dr. Anna Fox, played by Amy Adams, who has a severe case of agoraphobia, and whose main source of engagement with the outside world comes from her observations and glimpses into the lives of her neighbors as she spies on them out of her apartment window. But when the Russell family moves into the building across the street, she is prompted to engage face-to-face when the teenage son, Ethan, delivers a gift from his parents and introduces himself as her new neighbor. Being a child psychologist, she converses and bonds with Ethan and quickly befriends him. But later, Ethan's mother, played by Julianne Moore, introduces herself to Anna as well, and the two spend an evening together conversing, drinking, and laughing inside of Anna's apartment, with part of their conversation alluding to the controlling nature of Ethan's father, Alistair, played by Gary Oldman. Later that evening, looking out of her window across the street, Anna becomes terrified, strongly convinced that she witnesses Mr. Russell murder his wife. But the movie establishes early on that Anna's grip on reality is questionable due to her regular consumption of alcohol combined with her ever-changing psychiatric meds, and that she's also currently dealing with a difficult situation being separated from her family, which we find out more about as the movie develops. Matters become more complicated when, after reporting what she witnessed to the authorities, Alistair Russell appears in her apartment with an unfamiliar face, who the police confirm to be his wife, Jane Russell. So, was it all a hallucination, or is there something more to all of it? What happened to the woman that she met? The film is extremely well directed and has some really well composed cinematography. Each composition and camera movement feels intentional and effective in conveying the emotions the film is trying to get its audience to connect with. It does a magnificent job connecting the audience to Anna's fragile and questionable reality. For a good majority of the movie, it actually feels like you as the viewer don't really know what was real versus what was delusion either. There are some very artistic and eye-catching shots that really resonated with me, and the shot that stands out in my mind is the scene where everyone is in Anna's apartment and she's frantically going over the details, attempting to convince everybody that she knows what she saw was real, and the further away Anna physically moves from the other characters in the scene, the camera moves to accompany her and slowly pushes in on her, really effectively creating the feeling that the entire scene could possibly be inside of Anna's head. And whereas the movie is not by any means an effects-heavy movie, the visual and practical effects that are used, I thought were very well executed and effective. I also think that the movie was very well paced. There were no significant issues with details or plot points being rushed or skipped over, nor were there really any moments that drag on, which I think is partly due to the fantastic performances. Every single cast member, including the supporting cast, brings their A game and delivers a phenomenal performance. This is probably the most impressive role I've ever seen Amy Adams in. She does an amazing job. And Gary Oldman, of course, is always fantastic and delivers extremely well on the questionable and suspicious nature of this character. And Julianne Moore, Anthony Mackie, Brian Tyree Henry, and Wyatt Russell, they're all fantastic in this movie. My only nitpick with the film is that after unveiling all of the truths and realities to the audience, the motive that they provide for the events doesn't feel nearly as well thought out or fleshed out as all of the other elements of the film. I didn't have any issue with the motive itself, but I just felt like a few more lines of expositionary dialogue could have really helped to solidify the weight behind it. It was the one area of the movie that felt lazy in context to the rest of the film. But again, it really wasn't a major point of contention, and whatever disappointment I felt from that particular scene was immediately countered in the following scene, which is completely awesome. Overall, I give the movie a rating of 8 out of 10, and I really enjoyed it. I recommend it to anyone who enjoys a good mystery, suspense, and thriller story, as I feel like it really delivers well and checks off all of the boxes for that genre, but I also think it's just a really well-told story that most casual audiences will be entertained and impressed by as well. The Woman in the Window is currently streaming on Netflix, so if you're interested in seeing it, go check it out and come back and let me know what you thought in the comments below. I want to thank everybody for watching today's video. I hope everybody out there is doing well, and I'll see you all in the next video.